I've had a couple of my subscribers ask me, in all seriousness, how I really treat women, and truthfully, very carefully. Now, in all honesty, uh, I'm sure that most of you aren't interested in how I really treat women. Uh, I really love women in the nicest of ways. I don't mean that in a mean way or a sexual way. But I've always treated a woman with love and respect and with kindness, honesty. I've always been true to a woman. I hope I don't tear up. I probably will. But anyway, a woman's really a hard creature to figure out. I had my last girlfriend that I went with for about 7 years, who cheated on me and really broke my heart. She grabbed my heart and spit on it, and all the love that I had for her. Remember, I think I told you this in a couple of other videos. I remember walking over a bridge one time. I can't swim, and I'm really petrified of water. And anyway, I should have learned as a boy, but I never did properly. And I remember going over a bridge one time and looking down at this river, and I was thinking that if my girlfriend had fallen off the bridge into this river and she was drowning, let's suppose that she couldn't swim either, and she was drowning, that even though I'm terrified of water, that I loved her so much that I would have jumped in, not to save her because I couldn't save her, but I would have jumped in to die with her. That's how much I loved her. But anyway, getting back to a woman, this particular woman that I just was talking about with the, talking about that I would jump in to be with her. She was, I won't go into all the details, but she had been in a 20-year relationship with a man that was really a screwy, no pun intended, situation. He liked to get or have her get guys, bring other guys over to the house so he could watch his wife and other guys make love to each other, that type thing. I mean, it was just a den of iniquity, I guess you call it, that she had been exposed to, and so her morals and thoughts of what's real and what is immoral was messed up. And she was. It all started when she was a young girl, when her uncle molested her, and after a few times it felt good to her and she was looking forward to it, that type thing. So she'd been exposed pretty much most of her life with this abnormal sexual behavior, not knowing really what love what true love was. So anyway, she'd been with this guy for like 20 years. And when I got her, she was, or when I don't mean when I got her, she got divorced, and I met her. I met her on a plane going over to Portland and to an antique show. She wasn't going to Portland; she was going to Washington. But I happened to sit next to her on the plane and started talking to her, and we exchanged telephone numbers and so forth, and got together afterwards. And anyway, now I lost my train of thought. Anyway, she didn't have a normal relationship for ever, and she was with this nutcase for 20 years. So when I got her, she was just completely messed up, not just sexually, just by so many things. I remember playing a card game with her one time. I think it was Rummy, and I was beating her. I wasn't trying. I wasn't making fun of beating her, but I had a better hand than she did, or I went out first, or whatever. But I was beating her, and I wasn't ha ha ha, what a loser. I wasn't saying anything like that. But she went crazy. You always have to win, don't you? You always have to win. It's always been the way you are. I says, I've never played cards with you before. What are you talking about? Anyway, she was, she'd gone through this thing with her ex-husband, again, that he always had to beat on everything that he played. He had to be the winner. And I said, I'm not your ex-husband. I'm Ron, and, all we're doing is having a card game or playing a game. I says, I'm not out to win and make fun of you. And so I had a real barrier there. And all she really thought about is sex, to be honest with you. I mean, we'd go to church. We'd go to church, and a few times that we went to church together, and we'd come in my house. I have an entry hall, and she, anyway. No, I better not go into it. But anyway, that's all she thought. She was consumed with sex. And I tried to let her know there's other things besides sex, like watching a movie, or taking a walk, or whatever, going for a ride or whatever. But anyway, getting back to a woman, getting back to her again. Sorry. She used to tell me things that were troubling her. And I used to, pull them out of her. I mean, what was bothering her. Then she would tell me, what her problem was, and I would give her suggestions that might help her in coping with the problem or solving the problem. And she would yell at me. I only wanted you to hear the problem. I didn't want you to solve the problem, that type of thing. And it was, she went crazy. I said, what am I guilty for? I just care for you, and I'm just trying to give you some suggestions, or give you some, some ideas that might help solve the problem, or help you with it. If I wanted that advice, I'd ask you for it. I just wanted to tell you about it, that type of thing. So I don't think, I might be wrong, but I don't think that all women are like that. I think that there are some women, there's got to be some women out there that would appreciate a man trying to comfort their woman, and trying to help them overcome a problem, or make some suggestions that they can do that might alleviate the pain or the situation, the problem. But anyway, I just went through so many things like that. She would yell at me, and I said, "What are you yelling for?" And anyway, I try to get to the bottom of it. And she says, "Oh, I wasn't yelling at you." I said, "Who are you yelling at? You're looking at me. You're calling me, by by my name and yelling at me. If you're not yelling at me, who are you yelling at? She says, oh, I'm yelling at my ex-husband. Duh. I says, I'm here. You know, I'm not your ex-husband. It's me. You know, she says, oh, well, I was yelling at him. So I don't think all women are like that either. But getting back to the answer or the question, I think that men really should treat a woman with love and respect, devotion, be trustworthy, be as kind as you can, and just smother them with love. Smother them with love and affection. And that's what I've always tried to do. But being with this woman, you know, I mean, I really believe that if I treated her like crap, that she would have liked me a lot better. You know, pull out her chair at the restaurant. What are you doing that for? I can do that myself. You know, that type thing, you know. Opening her car door for her. What are you doing that for? I'm not, you're not my daddy. You know, I mean, one time she was over, or leaving my house about 2 in the morning, and talked to her when she got home. And she said that she stopped off at a gas station because her check or her oil light was on, and she wanted to make sure that you know, that it was okay. She only lived a few blocks away from me, and so she went to at 2 o'clock in the morning. She went to this closed gas station, got out of the car, raised her hood, and it was on a busy street where there's cars going by. Not a lot of cars at 2 in the morning, but you know, there are cars that go by. So the cars go by, and they look over at this woman that's out there by herself. My camera's screwing up. My camera's screwing up. I hope it isn't too bad. So she's out there by herself with her